Hello, Kidder families. This is Kelly Kinderis, therapist from Ohio Guidestone, coming to you again for another one of our short video clips for mental health tidbits to help our families during this COVID-19 time. So today we're going to just talk a little bit about creating structure and routine in the home and trying to give some helpful information for that. So we have a nifty PowerPoint here along with me talking. So we're hopefully this can be helpful to you in some way. Um, so the so we're going to talk about kind of just how we're going to create structure. So we're going to go through four different things. First of all, trying to establish a routine, defining our goals, creating space that works for us, and then talking about how to be consistent. So first, establishing a routine. So we know this is going to be tricky because we have this big chunk in our day of where our kids were in school. So our teachers kind of took care of that structure and routine part for us. And now we have this big chunk of time that is unstructured for our houses. And so we have to work on creating new structure and new routine for that time space where kids aren't used to being home Monday through Friday. So in trying to establish a routine, we want to encourage you to identify what's important for the day and what order it should happen. So maybe for you, it's important to get outside time first before we sit down and try to do any homework, or maybe schoolwork needs to happen at the beginning of the day right away, first thing in the morning, in order for it to happen. So first, we just want to identify what are the things that need to get done today and what order does it make sense for us for them to happen. And it can be different for every family. There is no one size fits all routine. Also, we want to encourage you to identify and work in times for breaks and different activities throughout the day, because it's important to kind of work those into our routine. Just as kids at school have breaks like recess and lunch and their specials, they also need breaks at home like that too in order to be successful. And we want to encourage you to work together as a family to create a routine that works for everybody. Again, there is no one size fits all, so it can look different for everybody. Maybe your family does better getting their schoolwork done in the evening when mom and dad aren't working, and they can focus more on helping the kids with schoolwork. That's okay too. There is no right or wrong, as long as we're getting done what we want to get done during our day. And routines just help us to keep a steady flow for our school week and our work week. So it is really important to have a rhythm to in order to be successful. So we want to encourage you to establish rules for your routine. Rules are key in helping to create structure and for things to feel consistent. So the rules are they just kind of give us those guardrails for our routine, and when are we veering too far off our routine, and what is okay. So is it okay for us to have electronic devices or music going while we're working our schoolwork routine, or is that too much? Does that not work for us? Again, the rules will be different for every family with what you need and what works for you. But just talking together about what these rules are and what the expectations are, and being very clear about that can help our kids to know kind of what those boundaries and what those guardrails are, and then that can help with creating structure. And then we also want to encourage you to define your goals. So goals help provide direction, and they give us kind of a sense of control over what we need to do during our day. It helps us to give focus and helps with our decision making, and also provides motivation for us too. So what are our goals for the day, for the week, for the rest of the year? Both for your family and for each kid individually. So talking about those as a family is important too. And then we also want to encourage you guys to create a space that works for your family. You probably have multiple people who need space in your house, maybe different siblings who are in different grades, or parents who are working from home. So it's important for everybody to have their own individual space that can be for them and what they need. Whenever everybody's trying to share the table or share the living room, things can get muddled. It's hard to stay on our routine and hard to keep those rules consistent. So Everybody should be able to have a semi-quiet space that is just theirs, even if it's people facing the opposite directions for their workspace. And then try to also separate that space from places that you do other things like fun activities and things like that, so that it can be uh, kind of a clear mindset that this is my space where I do schoolwork, and then other spaces are for playing and things like that. And then we want to encourage you just to keep your schoolwork environment clean, so that it's a positive experience to be there, and that can help with organization and things like that. And then lastly, we just want to encourage you to be consistent. Consistency is key with making any routine work. That doesn't mean that consistency is going to be easy. It would be normal to get pushback from your kids for trying to stick to rules or trying to establish the routine. But being consistent ultimately provides a feeling of safety and predictability in our day. If we know where the limits are and what the rules are and what the expectations are, it's easy for us to kind of for kids to kind of adapt their behavior to that. So again, it's being getting pushback doesn't necessarily mean it's not working. It just means that they're adjusting to this new routine and this new kind of place of structure. So finding out what works and what's appropriate, and then being consistent with it is key with kind of getting a good new flow to your day and to homeschooling and working from home, and those kind of things. And then ultimately, you'll get more done and be productive in the day when we kind of have this routine. Kids will get through schoolwork faster, and kind of reach those goals faster when they have a clear path that they know is consistent and being enforced by their parents. So we hope that's helpful. We will be back again next week with, I believe, 1 or 2 more videos in our series. So we hope everybody is being healthy and staying safe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Take care.